Welcome live to the Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. It is, well, we're recording on November 21st, but we're recapping the weekend of November 16th. Due to some technical difficulties, we had the week off. You all know what the technical difficulties are from my response in the hour of me posting that. I got 2 comments and you texting me with all the same thing.
See, but I was a nice guy though, and I didn't actually put it out there.
Yeah, well, Chris Walls did. Did you see that? He's like, slacking on your homework again? Just kidding. And I'm like, it's true. Anyways, we'll get right into things here. Motorsport, we have our show lineup. Motorsport in 60, then we'll go to Global Rallycross. We'll go to NASCAR, then we'll take a break. We'll talk about the chase grid, which is when we'll talk about the champion and the chase side of the race. We'll go to the points championship, and then the final lap. So Motorsport in 60 here. 60 seconds on the clock. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, I can see it. Race there, Ford EcoBoost 200 on Friday night. We'll talk like it just happened. On Friday night, here's your top 5. Finishing 5th was Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch finished 4th. Timothy Peters finished 3rd. Kyle Larson finished 2nd. And Darrell Wallace Jr. won the race, holding off Kyle Larson. That was one heck of a race.
It was definitely a great finish.
So, now, Nationwide Series, Chris Buescher finished 5th in the Ford EcoBoost 300. Ryan Blaney finished 4th. Kyle Larson finished 3rd. Kyle Busch finished 2nd. And Matt Kenseth won the race. 2 Cup regulars topping the charts.
As usual.
But, here's what it is. 13 seconds. Watch the truck race in full and listen to the Nationwide race on the radio because we were coming home from Littleton. So, that's what I got the last 4.
I actually watched them every race this weekend. Was able to watch it on time, which is unusual.
You even watch the Rallycross race?
I did not. I was not. You know, I don't even know what it really is on or what channel.
I think it was on NBC or something like that. But it was silly because they had the race on November 5th at 7:30 our time. Or
yeah.
No, I don't know, 7:30 Vegas time actually. And then they played it back at 1 o'clock during the day. So it looked out of proportion like they were on the other side of the world or something because it was dark. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So Global Rallycross or Red Bull Global Rallycross had their season finale as well as NASCAR. They, like we just said, they raced on November 5th, but we told you we wouldn't report on it until the race was televised. Here's your top 5. So, dang it. Sorvel Isaacson, right?
Don't ask me. I do not know.
Finished 5th. Scott Speed finished 4th. Bucky Lasek finished 3rd. Johnny Wyman.
I go Wyman.
Wyman, okay. Finished 2nd, and Ken Block won the race. I do apologize for the names. We're still learning them, and usually if we were right after the race, they would still be fresh in my head from when the reporters said them, but since we're...
Well, Ken Block is real easy. Scott Speed is real easy, but yeah.
Bucky Lasek, yeah.
But Isaacson, I think you were 100% right on the last name. I am not sure how to pronounce the first name.
All right.
So, you want to spell it correctly?
Yes.
Sverre. Sver. Kind of depends on where he's from, too.
Sorvel Isaacson, I think. I'm not sure. But, like I said, I do apologize on the names. Maybe we'll get you on that this off-season. Learn the names. This way, you can do the Formula 1 and Red Bull segment since they're European names. Now to NASCAR. They raced the Sprint Cup Series raced the Ford EcoBoost 400. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th was Jamie McMurray. 4th was Paul Menard. 3rd was Brad Keselowski. Ryan Newman finished 2nd, and Kevin Harvick won the race. That kind of gives away the champion. Yeah. But we'll talk about the race notes, also the Nationwide and Truck Series notes now. And then we'll talk about the chase side of the race after the break. But those last couple laps, I was losing my mind, yelling at the TV, going, "Come on, Newman!"
Yeah, you know what? He did everything. He did everything he could possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to say it's probably a good thing he didn't win because it would have been a little bit embarrassing for NASCAR.
Yes, but if he had won, he would have won the race. So
right.
NASCAR could have easily said, "Well, he won a race."
Yeah, that's not going to cut it on the last race when they all go even. In the beginning of the season, it was impossible for a non-race winner to win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess, in a way, technically makes you correct in what you're saying, but no. To make it all the way there to the last race without a win and then winning, no, that doesn't cut it for me. Because even if they finished second and third, Newman was second, and Harvick was third, Newman still would have won the championship.
Yeah.
Of course, Keselowski wasn't catching either one of them, so it didn't really matter much.
Yeah, exactly. But late in the race, we saw Logano. It was interesting because you made the note, and so did I, that the top 5 were all 4 were in the top 10. At some points, all 4 were in the top 5.
Yeah.
And I was tweeting the race, and
the only guy in there was Gordon, right?
Yeah.
The only guy in the race.
At that point, yeah. I was tweeting the race, and then when you started seeing they were focusing on the top 3 because Newman was far out, all of a sudden you see the 31 coming, and I tweeted Jaws theme as Ryan Newman approaches. Like, yeah, it's like I'm here. I was late to the party, but I'm here, and
he pretty much pulled off an incredible race. I was really pretty amazed.
Yeah, and then as we got down to the late race, we saw the elimination start to happen, so to speak, because Logano had a pit road incident that sent him to 29th.
Yeah.
So you could basically go, all right, he's done.
Actually, I think I had a note on it, didn't I? Something about Logano's, terrible mistake by Logano's team.
Yeah. And
then, you're going to have to pardon me, I'm having allergy issues here that are pretty severe.
But then Denny Hamlin gambled, which, in all honesty, we kind of saw that coming. When he gambled and he fell back, we were like, okay, sad to say, but it was a good shot.
Yeah.
But then we had the other cautions. 2 cars got into each other, and 3 and 4, and then...
Well, but my thoughts overall, though, were that our new champion, he earned it. Mm-hmm. He really did. He earned it in that race. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He earned it.
With 6 laps to go, he was 12th.
Yeah, there was no denying him, I guess. You can't get angry, you can't be upset because your guy didn't win, which I'm sure your father was probably flipping because his driver finally had that chance and didn't pan out.
But I don't know. Like you said, he earned it because Harvick came from 12th or 13th in the last 6 laps to win the race.
Yeah.
So actually, that was probably in the first restart.
Well, they call him the closer.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has the habit of coming out of nowhere. I mean, he really does. He does it all the time. Exactly. Almost every one of his wins. He really didn't lead the whole race, and then all of a sudden, in the end, there he is. It's like, wow.
Look who it is! It's that red number 4 Budweiser. I know last year, by the way, we had Jimmy Johnson apparel on the table. We don't have any Harvick stuff, except for the Harvick banner over there, cardboard cutout, which is Pennzoil. So we thought that wouldn't really be appropriate. So...
Well, it kind of goes with the same thing with my idea. I won't mention it, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Nationwide Series, Chase Elliott is your first champion, so congratulations to him. We found that out at Phoenix, but now it's in the book, officially. Well, it was in Phoenix, but you know what I mean.
Yep. I guess I don't know how to spell finale, huh?
I never did. I never did either until I found out. That was probably the most embarrassing thing ever because what I would do is I was looking up to the season finale and I post something every day saying only a couple days, and I spelt it finally.
Okay, is that what I did here?
Yeah, and then I found out finale as Finale.
Oh, is it really? Because even my spell check is giving me the wrong spelling then.
Oh, okay. But
then again, it doesn't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as I found that out, I went, "Oops!" It's like 50 Facebook posts that have it spelled wrong.
No, I thought the Nationwide race was it was a good finale, and at the end they said goodbye to Nationwide. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool, kind of sad in a way, but it is what it is. Sponsorships change.
But don't worry, we'll still call it the Nationwide Series for the first half of the next season.
I still call it Busch Series once in a while. But it was a fun race. But in my opinion, though, it was kind of dulled down by the fact that we already had a champion.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really, as special.
Yeah, it was the cup race we were going, who's gonna take it? The truck race was almost the same way. We knew it was basically Matt Crafton, but there was a possibility Ryan Blaney could get him.
Yeah, the cup race, out of
Small
curiosity,
possibility.
do you think that if there was like another green, white checkered, that there was a possibility Newman could have done it?
Well, he said in a post-race that he wouldn't want to be raced the way he was thinking about racing Newman. Meaning, put him in the wall, move home, or something like that.
Hey, you know what? A championship's a championship. There's big money in that. It's big name, big pride. There's a lot to it. So, no matter how you get it, you got it.
Yeah, but I guess after the whole Newman-Larson thing, after maybe Newman got some heat from a simple racing accident, or simple racing, he might have been, okay, if I bump him and he goes into the wall or something, or he spins and saves it, but I still get away, what am I going to deal with during my champion tour?
Who cares? I'm sorry, I'd be out to win it, no matter what it took.
Newman was there a couple of times, and in all honesty, I think if we did go into a green-white checkered again, he might have went, I'm going for it.
He's a big guy, and my imagination pretty much saw when his car went back to the garage and his team was taking a look at it that the gas pedal was pushed through the floorboard. Because that's what he seemed like he was doing at the end there. There was nothing. He was not letting up.
Mm. Team member. Huh. That's different.
He's still stuck there. Floored.
In RCR. And this is the champion car? Anyways, great racing overall the weekend.
Well, for a first-year team, too, pretty incredible. And, I know there's a lot of people talking about how the chase system works now. Mm-hmm. And a lot that don't like it, a lot that do like it, and a lot are in the middle ground. I like it. I think it was pretty crazy. Are there drivers from the season who, I guess, technically deserved it more? Well, by the old way, yes. Mm-hmm. But it's not the old way anymore, so it just is what it is. You had many. Gordon had many wins. Logano had many wins. Who else? There was a couple guys that had a whole bunch of wins this season.
It was Johnson had a couple.
Yeah.
I think Junior had a couple.
I don't think Johnson not winning it didn't. I don't think that hurt anybody.
No,
I wasn't insulted.
Junior had a couple. Kane had one. So there were a bunch of them.
Kyle Busch only had one too, right?
Yeah, they were the one and you're in type.
Yep.
But I liked it.
Yeah, and last week I had said that Kyle would have won. I totally misinterpreted what they said. I don't know if you saw my note. Mm-hmm. That's not at all what they said. He would have been one of the four going into Homestead if he would have successfully completed Talladega. So basically, Austin Dillon ended his shot at it.
And we go back to Austin Dillon.
That's what it is. I don't dislike any drivers, but I'm still kind of thinking Austin wasn't ready. Definitely wasn't ready for the 3, but... Well, it's like Chase Elliott. They're not... I mean, that kid... Holy God. You could throw him right in Cup Series right now. But they're not going to.
Because they're
going to run a whole nother nationwide or whatever it's going to be next year.
Also sprinkle in some Cup races next year.
Right. So he'll get some more experience, but they're not going to throw him into anything. And my thoughts with Austin is that they did. They're a little too fast getting in there. And there was no excuse for what happened with him and Kyle either, because a lot of people say, oh, it was all the smoke. I was like, no, it wasn't. I watched the replay like 10,000 times. He just didn't check up. It was like he didn't even see it. Kyle checked up perfectly, kept himself out of it, and then from behind. It was like, alrighty.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah, I suppose.
So,
and there's always next year.
Yep.
It's not like Kyle's going anywhere, so I'm not too worried about it. But then again, you know the driver I followed for what? Almost 30 years. Never won. Never won a cup. Won everything else on the planet, but never won.
So you're telling me that you jinxed Kyle Busch by becoming a fan?
Probably.
I apologize, Kyle. You and I met in the campgrounds after the Cup race in September. I apologize. Anyways, he's been a big supporter of Kyle Busch.
Since the beginning?
Yeah, first time you saw him in a truck race, you were like, I'm watching him.
And then, what was it, Daytona, when we were down there. I said, this kid's going a long way.
Mm-hmm. And you were right.
Seriously, look at how many wins he's got. It's like the same thing as Mark Martin. Though. Actually, he's exceeded now Mark Martin's records.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark Martin was the same way. He would many wins, or he just could never get that cup.
Well, Kyle Busch is still a newbie, so to speak, compared to Mark Martin.
Yeah.
So.
And one good thing Mark Martin has that could never be denied is he is the champion of all champions when it comes to the IROC series.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't be denied that because there's no more IROC series.
So he's perfect.
Although it would be cool though. I would like to see that come back.
Mm.
We did enjoy that with the different drivers from different series, Formula One and Indy and whatnot, all racing on the same track in the same car.
Oh my!
But did you ever?
No,
before your time?
I guess.
Really, that long ago?
I
My
guess.
God!
Oh.
I'm getting old.
We really have the show planned out, as you can see.
You know that this year, or I think it was yesterday, was the 30th anniversary of Richard Petty's 7th Winston Cup, or 7th Cup.
Nope.
30 years ago. 30 years ago, I watched it. It's like, damn.
Wasn't it?
So it was longer ago than your existence, actually by twice.
Twice that. Holy cow. But many people are saying now that they should change the location of the championship race. They should move it. Because apparently people are getting bored with Homestead. I don't understand why.
I noticed that. I didn't, I think I started saying something about it and I backed out, but it's not that exciting a track.
It is, but it's not.
Yeah, it's a cool track. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as exciting as you would anticipate a finale to be. You know, like you said about the nationwide race, because we already had a champion. It was a good race and all. It was fun, but it wasn't. It was lackluster, I guess is the best way to put it, because we already knew the champion.
Mm. See, I know IndyCar next year, they're having their finale at Sonoma. And the reason being is because whenever they go to Sonoma, the points get blown out of proportion. So IndyCar went, okay, being that you can have a points leader going into Sonoma and wind up 12th in points.
Yeah, and I do believe with NASCAR, they also, if they're going to continue this chase system and continue having Talladega in it, because, you know, that's a crapshoot. Well, obviously, what we talked about with Kyle Busch. And here we go again. Sorry. I'm allergic to animals. I own a bunch, and they have a bunch of dogs here. So I'm, for some reason, having very difficult times with it's very cold up here, so we're all closed up. Are you suggesting I do that?
No. I'm saying I'm also stuffy. Anyways, go on.
What was that?
Something about the chase.
Oh, yeah, no. Road course. Period.
I agree.
If you're gonna have the crapshoot of Talladega in it, throw Watkins Glen or something in there. I think it would just make it that much more fun.
I have a better idea. Having the finale at the Circuit of the Americas.
Nobody's ever raced before? That's kind of hard.
Why not?
True.
Right?
I mean, well, they could always test on it and stuff like that.
I know Cup cars were able to be done because Kurt Busch drove his Cup car around there a couple of times. A couple of years ago. But
what was that? Oh, that was Tony Stewart did the swap, the Formula One thing.
That was at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, where he got to run the full course and came out of the car saying, "We should really run the full course."
Yep.
Which I still don't understand why they don't. All right. You know, Dad's logic about the hill and all that.
I know, right? I was just about to say that.
So what? It makes it harder.
If he was here right now, that's exactly what he'd be saying. Because that hill, right?
I've walked the hill. I know exactly what it's like. I can't say I ever drove it. I was too young, but bottom line, it just makes it more interesting. It's more of a challenge. So if he thinks they don't do it because it's too difficult, well then that's just an excuse. That's the way I see it.
These cars are able to be changed so much. Track bar is able to be brought up. You're able to bring the car up X amount of inches, also able to bring it right down to the ground. So if the crew chief, they're going into that corner and they're bottoming out, crew chief could go, all right, let's change that. Okay, that's working now, but in the S's, you're getting air. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
S's, they drive straight through that.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but
like ramp jumps.
Sonoma, in Watkins Glen is definitely one of the more fun road courses.
All in all, though, season-wise, the one that I feel remotely bad for would be Jeff Gordon. Because he really, really should have been in there. He should have been in that.
I thought you were going to say he should really just retire. Well, because he said at the beginning of the season.
You call me old?
No.
Because we're the same age, you know.
No, I'm not. We're not the same age.
No,
Jeff. I know.
Jeff, actually, I'm slightly older than Jeff.
Interesting. So you guys grew up together, you and Jeff?
I believe he was born in 71, but he was born in early 71. I was born in late 70. So we're only a few months apart.
Interesting. Well, I think that if they were to... I think what NASCAR should do is have a bidding system for the championship race. A couple years in advance, of course, because we all know the next season's schedule is released in October, so they can't...
What do you mean a bidding system?
Well, you have it. So NASCAR goes, okay, we're going to have our championship race at one of the tracks that bids the highest, and the track... Well, that's my sister, okay? That's KK. It's Kaylee. At this track, the one that bids the highest, and each of the track, they send a representative to Charlotte or something. And they sit there and they...
You're talking about the actual tracks bidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in all honesty, I think... I know some tracks you can't race at. Michigan, probably under 3 feet of snow right now.
You know actually what would be an interesting move Talladega to the last race? Because then you're talking total and absolute crapshoot.
Put the total 16 in. No elimination. 16 going to Talladega. Good luck.
Right. Whoever comes out of this, it would be a disaster. It would be such a mess.
I was thinking about it, how some tracks you can't race on nowadays, like now during the season. Because I know Buffalo's under like 14 feet of snow. So if Michigan is right in between the Great Lakes, so I'm assuming they have snow from lake effect snow.
Yeah, but it's kind of difficult to say right now because it really seemed to only target like one strip of area. There's areas of New York that didn't get touched at all, and yet you can go a few miles down the road and they've got like 5 feet.
Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of weird. What really is going to get interesting now is, not to talk weather, but they're about to get warm again. So now you're talking about
5
all
foot snow.
that
5 foot
melting.
snowbanks, melting, and flooding.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
They're going right from ridiculous amounts of snow to flooding.
Have fun. But I was thinking about how you could you, if let's say New Hampshire Motor Speedway, they say, all right, we're going to repave in 2018, I don't know, and NASCAR puts in the bidding system. Could they put pipes in the track to heat up the track to melt the snow?
Yeah, it would be excessively expensive.
But if that means they're getting a championship race at the track, do you think Bruden Smith would be into it? You know what I mean?
It's hard to say. You gotta weigh the.
I know it'd be expensive. You need at least a couple of different generators to heat the water up that much to get it to be able to go through different sections of the track to melt it.
I was gonna say it all depends on how you decide to heat the track. Are you gonna use a hot water situation, or are you gonna use electricity? Because there's a lot of different types of heat, like heat tapes for the roofs that keep the ice from building up on the edge of the roof. You could use something similar to that underneath the track, like they do with bathroom tiles. I don't know if you've ever seen where you ever been in A heated bathroom.
Yeah.
That's cozy.
But could you do that at a track, or would it affect things? Like when the track settles, would it affect?
It would affect things, I believe. I believe it would have effects on the pavement and whatnot because you get the cold air above it, and then you get the hot, and you wind up getting cracks or heaves and stuff like that, like we do on our roads here.
So never mind, Burden Smith, if you're watching this. I know you might have been just writing down the idea. Scratch it out.
It reminds me, I have to remember when I go home that I gotta go all the way around. They closed Peacham Road to redo the bridge. You know, the bridge you cross over where the lake comes out?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? It's all gone. There's just a giant hole there and big piles of dirt, and you can't go that way.
They chose the wrong time to
yeah,
redo
so
this bridge.
basically what it is for me is no matter how you leave the house, you have to go, it's like basically 10 to 15 minutes out of your way. It's because I live right next to this road that goes right to the main highway. And unfortunately, totally cut off. So you got to go all the way around. Basically all the way around the lake.
Kim would be able to go.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kim's on the right side of it. Or her summer house is.
But anyways, that's what I think. I think NASCAR should maybe do a bidding system. Now, of course, like I said, tracks are not able to be raced on, so maybe tracks like New Hampshire and Michigan and Pocono and Watkins Glen and Dover and upper tracks that get snow maybe get crossed off the list. But tracks like California and Sonoma and Talladega and Texas and Homestead, Daytona, well, no, you really
Well, Sonoma is in northern California, isn't it?
Yes.
Do they get snow?
Never mind.
California's huge. It's like the entire west side of the country. It's huge. It goes all the way down to Baja, Mexico, and all the way up to Washington.
Wow. So maybe not Sonoma, but just warmer tracks. Bristol.
Watkins Glen would be out.
Yeah. Both road courses.
Pretty much.
So hence Circuit of the
Although,
Americas.
Circuit of the Americas, you were right. That's
But
probably the best option.
But they've never raced there. They've only raced F1, sports cars.
Now, didn't
V8.
Nationwide race there this year?
Nope.
What
Nationwide
was
went
it?
to Road America, Mid-Ohio, and the trucks went to Canadian Motorsports Park.
And wasn't there a track in Mexico that they went to? Last year, maybe?
A couple years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Pretty sure they crossed the border, or the southern border, at one point. Am I leaking or something? You keep looking at my nose.
No.
It's just turning red on me?
I'm not looking at your nose.
Alright, so moving on.
So, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we'll talk more about the chase. Then we'll go to the points championship and the final lap. So, we'll be right back. Welcome back, live Hit Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. So now we'll move on to the chase, which we have a nice picture of the champion. I was going to do originally a blank background, then I found that picture, and I'm like, we'll use that as the background. So, Harvick is your champion, Hamlin is 3rd overall, Logano is 4th overall, and Newman is 2nd overall. And it's kind of, now that we've seen how the chase goes, it's kind of easier to explain. Going into it where you're like, yep, that sounds good. Throwing darts at the dartboard.
When we met McReynolds, he gave me the best explanation I've ever heard. I mean, that was perfect.
Probably should have recorded that, but living your life. Like the t-shirts I was supposed to give them. Anyways, but Harvick wins the race, champion. Newman finishes second overall. Okay, understandable. Harvick was... Newman, my little sister, hanging on some pots and pans. Newman, dang it, Hamlin was in the top 10, I think. Or
out of curiosity, who finished 5th?
It was McMurray.
No, not the race. Points.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Are you gonna guess Gordon?
Oh, well, actually, I know where I can find those quickly. We put a picture up on Facebook from Fox. So thank you, Fox. A lot of, while we're waiting for this to come up, a lot of different driver changes, driver extensions, stuff like that. So the full 16 standings go like this. Well, that didn't make it bigger. Harvick, Newman, Hamlin, Logano.
How
Then
did Logano finish fourth? I mean, wasn't... Oh, wait, yeah, he was. Duh. He was one before. He had a bad day, too. I wasn't crying about it, though.
Keselowski, Gordon, Kenseth, Earnhardt. That's their top 8. Then we go Edwards, Busch, Johnson, Busch. And then Allmendinger, Biffle, Kane, Almirola. Those 4 didn't really change positions at all. Those were, I think, one of the first 4 knocked out. One of them. Casey Kane, I think, moved on. But they kind of... Interesting how that happens. How you have the top 12, top 8, then top 4.
-1. Newman down by 1.
One position.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to be aggravating, though.
So, a lot of... I put this picture up on Facebook, by the way. I think you probably saw it. On the Sunday night after the race. Only 88 days until the Sprint Unlimited, but who's counting? We are. And oh, look who's leading the field in this picture for the 2014 Sprint Unlimited. Darn it, Harvick! But, anyways, back to the notes.
A whole bunch of new paint schemes and whatnot coming, too.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to say that. The last week has resulted in new paint schemes, people changing teams. Sponsorships. Casey Canes now has LifeLock.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet Budweiser isn't going anywhere from Harvick right now.
No, I don't think so either. And Casey Kane also is going to be with Hendrick Motorsports till 2018 now. So the year I graduate high school will be his next contract up bid. I kind of did that in a way for you to go, really? Only 4 years away? I graduate high school.
Well, that was a little scary.
Did that just set in? So, moving on now to the points championship. I don't exactly remember who finished where in this.
I don't know, my years sucked.
The winners were Trooper had Kevin Harvick. Rigged. Dave had Tony Stewart. Joe had Jeff Gordon. I had Ryan Newman. Really, really hoping for that. Art had Jimmy Johnson. And Kristen had Denny Hamlin. Our championship picks, which is now, we're going to keep this chase format, by the way, for next year, but we are going to, I'll explain in a minute. But the top 4 made championship picks. Joe got first pick with all 4, so he chose Harvick, rigged. I had, just kidding, guys.
So what does he get as a bonus for that?
5.
Okay.
You'll see in a second. I had Ryan Newman for my pick. Art had Joey Logano, and then my mom was scared that she was going to get left with the leftovers, but she had one of the best picks. She had Hamlin. So, she got lucky. So here's the results. Trooper had 5 points of his own because his pick was the actual race winner. So he wanted to feel special and get 5 additional points. So he had 15. Dave had 4 because he got 4th place. Joe got 5th, equaling 2. He was also the champion leader, so he got a 5. Wait a minute.
Oh, I was just going to say, you going to tell me you messed up your math again?
Dang it! He had 7, not 10. I had 3rd place, and I also had 2nd place to the champion. So I had +4, so that was 10. Art had 8, 2nd place, so he actually got 3rd to the champion, or 2nd to 3rd. He had 4th. So he got 10, and Kristen got 0, but got 3rd, 3 points for the champion. So I have to subtract.
Based on your math, now I know why the technical difficulties keep taking place.
Hey, my math grade's up, okay? Everything's up. I just have to subtract 3 points from Joe.
So overall, who won?
Art. We signed him last year at this time, and he was like, "Where you and I are both saying you're gonna struggle." Well, who's the one that struggled?
Last year's champion.
I just need to subtract 3. And add 3.
Sunday, 8 a.m. Oof. Got to make sure I'm recording that.
I was going to say, you going to be up for that? So, here's the chase standings. Art is your champion by 6 points over Kristen. See, that's the one thing my mom didn't understand. We were going into this final race 1 point apart. She's like, I'm leading! I'm like, that's not good. By 1 point. She goes, why? I'm like, because if you have a horrible race, he's just going to blow right by you. So, anyways, Kristen finished 2nd. I finished 3rd. Joe finished 4th. Trooper finished 5th. And Dave finished 6th. So, you're 2-time champion.
Dead last.
Dead last. But
So proud.
I guess that's just how it is when you add more players. So Art is the champion with a total of 148 points. And halfway through the chase, I totally lost track of the overall standings, so we all zeroed out. But starting in 2015, when we get to the chase standings, we're going to have the same seeding system like we did this year. Wins. But we're not going to be 20 points apart. We're going to be 5.
Okay.
Because I almost feel like...
Is it still only going to be the top 4?
That make championship picks. Yes. But you have 10 weeks to rebound if you're in 6th. But I felt bad for you because you got seeded 6th. And...
Excuse me?
You're getting really good with that trumpet. You got seeded 6th.
I have a full garbage pail by the time I leave.
You got seeded 6th. So you were started with 0 points. Now, if we had started with 5 points difference, so start Art with, I don't know.
Does this mean the next year I have first pick?
Yes, actually, for the Sprint Unlimited, which this year
I should get first pick for Daytona. I don't know why we would deal with the Unlimited. But.
You will. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to change that to this way. Sprint Unlimited and Daytona are both. Sprint Unlimited is just a specialty race.
Yeah, it's not a points race, so I don't see why it would have any effect.
Anyways, so we're just going to have us reseeded closer next year. Instead of 20 points out, we'll just be 5 points apart. This way, in one race, you could go from 6th to 1st, or vice versa. So, push
unbelievable that Kristen started late and still came in 2nd. That's pretty impressive. Or lucky, however you want to look at it.
She beat Trooper. They were originally going to pair up, you know that, right?
Huh?
I asked if they wanted to be involved, they were going to be a team. I'm like, that's not fair. They go, why? I'm like, because that's 2 people, like, on one team. So I'm like, you guys have to make separate picks. And she's like, great. So, first pick, Dave Blaney. And then other pick...
Nothing personal against Dave.
No, nothing at all. It's just something we pick on my mom about. Dave, I think you're an amazing driver. Don't get me wrong, but just you can't get that ride. Like you need to be a part of Hendrix, and you'll be able to perform at your best.
Or it's actually quite a few teams that can do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's my opinion. Anyways, final lap. Quick one. IndyCar off till March 2015. Rallycross is off till 2015. Tutor United Sports Car off till January 2015. And the trucks are off till February. Nationwide Series is off till February. And the Cup Series is off till February. And the one and only series that's racing next weekend, or this weekend, however you want to look at it, is Formula 1. Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure if it's under the lights like they usually do, or if it's an afternoon race.
Well, if you want to hear something funny about all that you just said, when I first got up this morning, I right away went to the guide and started looking for the practice and see if the truck race was on tonight and all that, and spaced, totally spaced.
I was in Civics and I'm on my computer just doing some notes. I'm like, sweet, I'll be able to get home and watch them. Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, they won't, because they're not there. They're enjoying their vacation right now.
Actually, last night I was watching the truck race from here at NHMS. Oh, Formula 1, Sunday, 8 a.m. on NBC Sports Network. The truck race from NHMS I was watching on YouTube because I didn't get to see it in September because I was running around trying to get into the infield and talk to the ACT drivers. But I was watching it and I'm like, dang it, I really missed a good race. Anyways, that's going to do it for this week's show. Join us next week, or join me next week. I'm not sure if you'll be here.
I'm not sure either.
Okay. So if
I know I have to record that race in order to watch it because I ain't up that early.
Well, I will be, I think. No, actually, I think I'll be sleeping in, because tomorrow morning's an early morning. 7:30, marching through Concord, New Hampshire. Woo! Anyways, that's going to do it for this week's show. Make sure to join us next week when we recap Formula One. So it'll actually probably be like a 20-minute show.
Yeah, it's been a good season, that's all I know. I enjoyed the new format.
I did too. And
I know The Godfather didn't.
Godfather being our cameraman, being that all you hear is his voice. And super loud.
Because he's right next to the camera.
Because he's right next to the camera. And deep and clear. So I don't know if you noticed that. It's
Yeah.
Is that you, Father?
We could, future reference, maybe hook up a mic somewhere over here so that we're louder. Because he does come in very loud over us.
I've tried. It works, but it tunes him out. Because it would be this mic, so we'd be talking, we'd be loud, and you just hear...
Oh, because it's only one or the other? Gotcha.
You could put a split, but...
Yeah.
Maybe next year we'll have standing mics, who knows. But I think this is working.
No way you can use the mics on these, huh?
No, I haven't figured out a way.
Yet. Yeah, you have the off season to figure it out.
Yep, and I have the new software. Which, by the way, I do apologize if at all this show or any other shows for the rest of the season is a little blurry, because I haven't figured out how to make it crystal clear in the editor. When you're editing, it has like these different presets and stuff, and I'm still learning.
Would Billy know?
I already asked. He said Google it.
Okay.
So, I'm doing research. This week's show might be a little blurry. I think I did my best, though, because I figured out a format that's the clearest out of all of them.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to...
But, yeah. If not through the editor, maybe get a video converter or something like that.
Well, that's what the off season's for. You'll figure it out.
Exactly. We only have one more show, actually 2 more shows, and then we're done. And we get to lay around and do nothing and prep for next season. It's the one thing in this job, one thing about this show, you never get rest.
Yeah, maybe next year I'll have a contract, so I actually know what I'm going to get doing.
Anyways, so that will do it for this year. That will do it for you this season, as far as we know. Because really, Formula One is not really your bread and butter. So
it's funny because it used to be when I was younger.
I know. We'll have Peter on next week, so we'll just so I guess that'll be it for you this season. We'll see you at the season finale.
It's been a good season. Thank you everybody for watching.
Have a good night, everybody. You'll see me next weekend, but he is done for the year. Your contract is expired at midnight tonight.
Contract.
Have a good night, everybody, and goodbye.